lounging, son.
All right, welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan, and back with me, my boy Eli. We're going to continue our read-through of Mirage TMNT Vol.4.
Cowabunga says it all.
So,
oh, dude, today's the anniversary of the release of Turtles 1 in theaters, I read.
Oh, is it really?
One of these days, the last few days.
I feel like I saw that.
It was always March because my birthday was March. I mean, it still is March 25th. And every time a movie came out, it was pizza place, arcade, movies.
Nice. Well, yeah, I guess it's fitting then that we're talking some turtles, dude.
Absolutely.
So
being a turtle.
I hate that. I mean, I have to mention it. Obviously, you're going to see it glaringly on the screen for anybody watching this. The bottom region of Michelangelo falling through the sky on this cover. I think this has been like a constant thing, like where like if you've read Turtles or that you talk seen it online, people always talk about their tails. Yes. And how I mean,
turtles have tails. It's no.
Eventually they stop doing it though. I mean, they definitely don't do it in the new ones.
No, but I do think they do it for the whole run of Volume 4.
Yes. Oh yeah, the Mirage stuff, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's the beautiful Michael Dooney cover. Though I'll say that, but we'll jump into it.
All right. We got this sweet plate that Peter Laird painted in downtown Northampton. He says at the end. I think that's pretty cool. Peter Laird really has free reign over this issue, over these issues, and there's always some personal information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the Segway comes out, he's like one of the first people to have a Segway because it wasn't. The guy like is from New Hampshire, and there's a whole spread about that later on.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen those issues, but yeah, I remember that. I know there's even like a mention in the letters pages. I think it's in issue 3, but like somebody's complaining about snowmobiles.
Oh yeah, and he's like, dude, chill.
Yeah. Last issue we ended with Michelangelo getting smacked by a fucking truck driving by and picked up. And he's waking up in this fucking, I think like on a gurney inside this truck, right? Or what we assume is a truck.
Right, exactly. Like the back of an ambulance.
There it is. There's the tail, dude, just sitting there.
I mean, what else would it be doing? I gotta send something out to Jim Lawson or who's inks again? It's
right now it's still just Peter Laird and Jim Lawson because next issue, and it says in the back in letters pages here, Eric Talbot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, Peter Laird is doing like the inking and the toning,
and then Eric Talbot comes in and helps on inks with issue 3.
Yeah,
and there's that cool photo of Eric just like at the drawing table inking.
At the end of 3.
Yeah,
it's really intense because like Peter Laird's going like heavy, and by the end of this run, there's like none of this.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's so much emphasis put on these like details that Jim Lawson will put in, like the veins on his arms, some of these like spiral like patterns on is it called the plastron or whatever the front of the
shell is? It's not carapace, is it?
What? I don't know. I guess maybe plastron's the back of the shell, and I don't know what the under is.
Huh. Okay. But you're talking about like right here, right? Like on the front. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. I clicked away again to see if you're right. The hard upper shell of a turtle crustacean arachnid. Oh, that's the inside. I don't know. We'll figure it.
But yeah, it's true. You're right. I mean, you don't really pay attention to that, but like the veins on the arm, like is something that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about because it's all I pay attention to. No, I'm kidding. I just love Jim Lawson's like details and stuff.
I love Jim Lawson too, dude. I mean, I can't sing his praises enough. Like he really is like one of my favorite artists to ever do a rendition of the Turtles. And obviously, like now we've seen so many people do their version of Turtles, especially with IDW around, right? Like so many people doing variant covers, so many people doing interiors. But we've said it, like his is the second name I think of. Well, I look at Eastman and Laird. Yeah, Eastman and Laird is like one entity to me when I think of Turtles. Oh, okay. But then it's Jim Lawson right after,
Yeah. And again, he's a saint among men and comic creators because he helped me out when I was doing my first book, and he just gave me all this free advice and a free pinup of Lion from Monkey Lion that I'll never get over.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
All right, so he's kind of like, what the hell? What's going on? I don't like being tied down, Mikey.
Yeah. Again, the pupils in the eyes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Rarely
like,
does it, but when he does, it almost gives me a feel of like the movies. The movies had a lot of emphasis on the eyes, and there was a lot of acting done in those eyes. And I mean, until you really notice it, you don't see those like little holes under the eyes where like the human eyes are peering out. But like, yeah, there's just a lot of acting done in those eyes.
so this is where it gets crazy too, because he thinks he's in the back of an ambulance and he's flying in the sky.
Yeah.
And it just completely falls out.
He's just like, whoops.
I love how small he looks, like right here in this panel.
Yeah. It's epic. And I think again with this story, there's a lot of action and then there's a lot of personal story, and it cuts back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets saved by this dude who I looked up because, again, I keep referencing back. I think it's 14 or 15 from Mirage.
15.
15, yeah, because they say later. But I don't think this dude's from it. I think he debuted in the 2003 cartoon. Oh, no, I guess not. He debuts here. Because the 2003 cartoon is after this.
Right. Like this issue, the one I'm reading from is the second printing. So this is already after the cartoon has happened. Because the series launches in 2001. And it was like... it was a bi-monthly book, so it was every other month coming out.
Oh, this comic does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, this one says it's like 2002 or something like that. And I'm like, no wonder I didn't read it, because number one, again, there's no comic book store at that time in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
But also I was like a senior in high school. I feel like I just wasn't reading comics. My drawings had all turned from X-Men and Turtles and Batman to like Fish and like rock music.
Mm-hmm.
Was like everything I was drawing at that point. It's a crazy time in my life, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so what's his name? Oh,
Raptor.
Yeah, he saves him, pulls him up into this sort of flying ambulance. So first thing I'm hit with here is like, okay, now there's like superheroes in this world. They're building this world up as like a whole different Turtles world.
Yeah, it becomes very expansive pretty quickly in terms of like this run.
Yeah.
Then we flash back to Donnie and Raph. And no, this is Raph and Leo. I'm sorry, Raph and Leo.
Yeah. It's like a random kind of like, we catch them in the middle of a conversation like, Florida sounds good right about now. You're like, what?
Yeah. And Raph's cold. He's like, being cold-blooded sucks.
Dude, wear some fucking boots.
Yeah, dude.
Number one, get some clothes on.
I love this too. He's like, stop complaining, I'll make you tea. Leo, you know I hate tea. All right, how about malt cider? No. Coffee? No. Hot chocolate? Now you're talking.
Now you're talking with the little marshmallows. So,
yeah.
And it's cool. It's interesting. They say like being cold-blooded sucks. You wonder like when they got mutated, is it like they have human physiology or turtle physiology? And it's like, it's turtle physiology.
And this also goes back to like issue 1 where we talked about like them getting like tired and winded. Like they're not teenagers anymore. He's like, fuck, I'm cold. My bones ache. It's like he just like plops down on the couch. I love this where he's just looking up.
It's a good drawing too.
Yeah, really.
And again, it's another very like Peter Laird rendering style of like in panel 3 here. Like these, just drawing myself, it's like when I try to draw Peter Laird style, it's like these triangles on the cheeks, this like super dark forehead. That's like I feel like when you get the sketches from him, those are things he really leans into. It's like a very Lairdism, if you will.
Yeah. No, I love these pages, dude. I'm like I talked about the tones and stuff. Like it just completely replicates like the feel of like the old Mirage stuff,
Yeah. And like I don't want to see this in color. Like if IDW ever redid this or republishes this in a trade, like don't color it. It doesn't need it.
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if they colored it, because it just doesn't look. These books weren't meant to be already colored. Yeah, exactly.
The tones are the colors. And so they're continuing chatting, and again, and like this is how we're talking. Like this is an adult. These are adult turtles. They're just chatting. They're talking, and this is real stuff. Casey and April been trying to have a baby for 5 years. It's not working.
Leo tells him Leo tells Raph like, oh, but you got so gushy like when you and Chad was a baby, and he's like, no, Mikey was. I was semi.
I was just semi gush, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And we'll learn later that, Shadow has all these has a pet name for Mikey
No, it's definitely like it's not what you would first think of as a Turtles book, because like you said, there is action, but there's a lot of these moments, and I kind of dig these moments because it's
absolutely.
like it just like it makes them better as characters. And if it's just like all fighting and action, like you don't really get a feel for who these characters are, and they've changed a lot over the years, obviously, especially in this run. Like you see the remnants of their like personalities from the older stuff, but they've also changed.
Yeah. And it's what a big two book might be scared to do. And what Peter Laird at this point in his career is like not afraid to do, which is know that what we care about is these characters, not the fights and not them fighting mutated animal people or whatever. It's these guys. It's the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 extended family people that we love,
And I think it's cool too, because like I talked to Dan Berger recently,
and he was a good interview, man.
Thank you, man. And he was awesome, dude. He was telling me how like at the end, like Peter's like paying out his own pocket,
it's
like
crazy,
just to get these comics.
Same as we are.
That's so awesome to hear. Like it just shows the love that he continues to have for the medium, and how like I've spoken with another creator recently too, from the Mirage days. I don't think he was around during this run, but just hearing about like the camaraderie and the family aspect of everybody that worked at Mirage, it was so unlike another bullpen at a different studio.
Yeah. Check out Cosmic Lion Radio episode 30, where I have Jim Lawson and Steve Levine. That was another good one where they talk a lot about it.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I know Jim won't do interviews. I understand. He's like, my memory's not what it used to be, and I'm like,
not to rub it in, but when we did our interview, the whole first one was corrupted, and he decided he did it all again.
That's
he
awesome.
did it twice. Yeah,
it was
awesome. Huge. It was huge
because you know what? Like so many people could be like, I just already talked to you. Like I'm not gonna do it again.
And that was in the days before Zoom, where I just had my phone hooked up to a little, XLR and then into a box on my computer. So it's a whole different world. Yeah. So there, and then we flash over to Mikey, who like wakes up in this hospital bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, what just happened? Like Angel from X-Men saved me. I'm in a flying ambulance.
Yeah.
Why do I want to say ambulance? Because it's funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with that. Yeah. Ambulance. I'll call it an ambulance. That's fine. So yeah, look, he's got to remove all these fucking IVs coming into him. He has no idea what the fuck's going on. Body aches all over. Feels like he's been trampled by a dozen triceratons.
They're buzzing in like, sir, please do not remove your IVs. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. She's buzzing in, and everything's like, I mean, he should at first be like, okay, why is everything so futuristic? We got screens, we got these things, and they're like, you're free to go if you want. Your Chucks are in the fridge.
Yeah, there's no iPads yet. There's no iPads yet.
Right,
That's important to know. But when this comic came out, there wasn't anything like that.
I had a flip phone at this period.
Same.
And it was only to get weed. Like nobody called you on it.
And it's funny too, because like just the aspect of him like waking up, there's a human being talking to him, like it's not even a big deal.
Right.
Like that's also kind of like a little bit weird, especially if you're reading it, because like nobody knows about the turtles. They're not common knowledge.
No, not at all. Everyone's afraid of them still. He's like, at least with these Chucks on, I won't feel so naked.
Yeah.
Bro, you're literally naked all the time.
Tails just hanging out, dude.
Tails flapping in the wind.
And and it's funny too, because he's like, there's no cops, doctors. He's like,
it starts dawning on him like things are. I always liked how the turtles looked like with no mask, no belt. I remember I had one of the stuffed animals and I straight up cut it all off just to have like a figure with no mask or no belt.
And this is where the shit gets weird, dude.
Yeah, and he's like, oh damn, Big Barda. That lady looks like Big Barda on the left there, I figured.
Yeah, I thought it looked kind of like Renette too.
Oh yeah. And he's like peeling off his band-aids, and we've got like a nice, like one of those colorful IMAX here on the desk. So we at least had those. Now this stuff started to remind me a little bit of did you ever see Peter Laird's Stupid Heroes?
No.
I think it was the late 90s, they started a line of create your own books shoot, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like Bioneers. It was like Eagles of the Vortex. There was all the creators from Mirage were allowed to basically just do their own indie books. And Peter Laird did 3 issues of like a super Jack Kirby thing called Stupid Heroes.
Oh man, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out or look for it.
Yeah, I was gonna give you some. I actually have some extras.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
But also, y'all, if you want to check out these type of Mirage books on Kevin Eastman's website, there's like a Mirage bundle,
right?
And you can get a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, great resource, Kevin Eastman's site for getting old stuff, because sometimes he like unearths stuff that he's like looking in the studio, throws up old stuff all the time, and like especially if you sign up for the email list, you'll get notified every time those go up.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Plus dope shirts. There we got dope shirts too.
Oh yeah, the Krang one, the Utrom one. Yeah,
I gotta get that.
And he was wearing one in this 1980s photo, which was like a pinup he did of like Thor versus Raph or whatever. I grabbed one of those.
I know. I missed out on
I hate you. And this is where the doctors come out and they're like, Michelangelo, I'm gonna have to ask you to return to your room. He's like, dude, how do you know my name? What's going on here? And this is where Mikey has that kind of like super reactionary reaction. He like pushes a thing in there. He tries to run. He throws the chairs down in front of him as he's running away, kind of thing, you know. And
I knew it. A muscle brain goon or two were bound to show up sooner or later.
There's always a goon.
Yeah.
Dude, panel 1, the like surprised tone work around Mikey. Yeah,
yes,
so sick.
I know, it is really good.
Love that stuff.
I mean, everything about this is good, but yeah, I know this. It's those things that like you don't necessarily notice at first glance.
Yeah.
No, but like especially now, like reading it again after all these years, because it's been a very long time. I'm noticing a lot of stuff I didn't pick up on before, especially like my knowledge of the Turtles has grown. You know, because I think at this point I also hadn't read all the early Mirage stuff.
I was reading the thing recently too. I think it was the collected edition 6, which is like the short story.
I just bought that one. Yeah,
it's sick. And there's a Steve Bissette story, and they're talking like, oh my god, he's so good at tones. He was so much better than me and Peter at this time, or me and Kev at this time. They were talking, but like at this point of Peter doing tones, I think he's really good. He's as good as Bissette was at that time. Like the rendering and the like roundness that's achieved, and the heaviness of these shapes, it's all there. He's got it, man.
This is where we get the call back, dude, to issue 15.
That's right.
Zippy Lad, dude.
Yeah. What a great, that's an all Peter Laird issue. What a great issue. It's all the superheroes, and we get more of the characters from that dude, the dude with like the circle in his head. And
is it Metalhead? I think it's Metalhead.
I think it's Metalhead, yeah. And not the Metalhead you guys are thinking of. And so he's just like, okay, that gets him to calm down. And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, hey, Ninja Boy. And he's like, oh, shit. There's my dude, Zippy Lad.
I think one of my favorite things that I discovered on this read that I didn't before was the name. Kurtzberg Memorial Hospital, named after Kirby.
Kirby.
Because that's Kirby's, or that's his like birth name, like his real name.
His Jewish name.
Yeah. So like that, then throwing that in and me not realizing it all those years ago as a little kid reading this book, like that was a pretty cool callback, and kind of like how they talk about him and saying he was like well, this goes further in, but he talks about,
and it's a cool idea, you always think about that, like a superhero gets hurt and they always have to go to like that secret person, or they have the guy on their team, the guy or girl on their team, and they're like, who's gonna fix these people up? But this is a great idea. It's like superhero hospital. It's a great TV pitch, man. It's just like ER, but for like superheroes.
That is a really, I mean, yeah, because what else do they have? I think the only other thing I can think of is Night Nurse. And
that's Marvel, true. Yeah, right.
But even that, they don't even really show it. They don't.
And they just come bloodying into her house or to the late night, hospital. And
yeah, but this is a dope idea. They talk about it. A great man, a visionary. Some of the super types call him the father of us all. Like that's
absolutely so true.
Yeah. So I love how like he's like, Zippy Lad's like, I'll take care of him. I'll get him back to his room. Don't worry, I got this. And that's what kind of brings Michelangelo, back down and calms him down, because he's like, he sees a familiar face, and they head back to the room. And I love it. It's just they're walking, talking, and he just like slowly just climbs back into the bed as he's having this conversation. It's cool though. It's like, a need to know kind of situation. They don't advertise their existence or give out their location, and later on,
got it. Like he can draw bikes like no one else. And I mean, it's because he's like a head. He's like a motorhead or whatever. So he's just like, he's able to either have a machine engine in front of him to draw from, or he's just got it up in his head, man. It's insane. Like next issue when Shadow's on her bike and stuff, it's like, that's a dirt bike and every piece is there.
Look at the wrinkles on his face, dude.
Yeah, man. So much detail. Just kind of laying it in a little bit more about this place.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you weren't too badly hurt. You'll be fine. The shell took most of the impact, and Mikey's like, oh shit, a bus hit me. Dang. And he's like, all right, bro, just like get some sleep and chill out. And then we flash back to the old sewer den where Casey and Raph are eating pork rinds and watching Star Trek. I like to think.
I love too this older Casey, this older Raph, like the years and years of friendship at this point,
Yeah. And they used to go out patrolling, and now they're like chilling, watching TV.
I also always liked when they're in the sewer. I've never liked when their headquarters or their, base of operations was like in the main city or whatever. Like, the 2003 cartoon. I was watching Turtles Forever the other day, and their like headquarters is like up above. It's in the middle of like this like park or something. Like, it doesn't feel right, dude.
It's not the same. Yeah.
No.
The train station was cool, like in Turtles 3. The movie,
yeah, it was cool too. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
but it's
that
underground though. But
That's
it's underground.
It's still like sewer. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean like underground. That's like the only other headquarters that I liked was the train station, because like they discovered this like abandoned subway station, like like that was dope.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, and so they're like, oh yeah, he does say if it has anything to do with Star Trek or microchips or Star Trek, I ain't interested.
Yeah, so he found the armored vehicle or the armored van in the issue before, and now he wants to fix it up. So he comes up to them and asks for their help.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so sick, 1970s vintage armored car. Yeah,
I love how he says sometimes even Knucklehead Jones or something, even Knucklehead Jones might like. Now I'm intrigued. You can't even spell intrigued, you Nimrod.
And Nimrod is like, I think it's, man, I read a little bit about that word one time, and I think it was like a Bugs Bunnyism at first or something.
Oh, okay.
But then it was used, like, oh, you know what? No, it's biblical. It's a biblical figure mentioned in the book of Genesis. Jesus.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And also Moira McTaggart's son, right? No,
Nimrod's the...
Oh, he's a robot, like
robot from the future or something.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but I did like look
Taggart's son again. It's an electrical name because he has the electricity. Anyway, we'll figure that out.
Oh man, yeah, I can't remember.
Neither here nor there.
I just love like again, like that's the banter between the two of them. Like that's it goes back to like when they were calling like we were talking about the Turtles movie, the 90s, right? Like the back and forth, the name calling that they do.
Yeah, exactly. And the interest in like working on the old truck. I mean, that's in the comic in Northampton and in the movie,
Yes. Yeah, that was pulled like from the book. You know what I mean? Like that's why that to me, that's my favorite iteration of Turtles out of comics is that 90s movie. Like, and obviously, like, look, I haven't seen the 2012 cartoon as much, but I've talked to another creator, and I talked to Steve Levine. That's who I talked to, and he was telling me how much he loves that version of the Turtles.
Oh, the 2012 Nickelodeon CG, Ciro Nieli. Yeah, that one is bomb.
Yeah, he told me he's like that's my favorite next to the 90s movie, obviously.
Yeah, I like that honestly more than the 90s cartoon.
Really?
Okay. The 90s cartoon obviously holds a place in my heart for what it was at the time, but upon revisiting it, it doesn't hold up. And frankly, it's like I don't like those turtles because they're goofballs and idiots, but like the 2012 turtles are smart and funny, and the cartoon itself is well done. Ciro Nieli is a genius and loves the turtles and is reverent to Mirage, also featured on a Cosmic Lion interview. Just super cool dude who had the reverence for everything that came before it to make it like the best possible thing.
Yeah, I know. Watching the Turtles Forever the other day and looking at the '87 version of that cartoon. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, it really shows it in that.
they were really fucking like
Yeah.
always having to make like these corny ass jokes, you know,
Right.
like just please just keep it pushing, dude, you know, for
Right.
real.
I mean, some of it holds up and it's fun. And if you have like a
Nostalgia.
niece or nephew or a kid to watch it with, I'm sure it does. But
Yeah.
I got some DVDs and I was like, not my turtles anymore.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I got to get the 2012. I know they have a complete box set.
Oh, that'd be
So
sweet.
so
Yeah,
I'm probably
it's
gonna
really,
pick those
really
up.
good.
Yeah.
And because they went from Earth to space, and then they changed the intro and they got Fugitoid and they did all this really interesting stuff. So
Yeah, I'll
and they
definitely.
did like a Last Ronin before Last Ronin. They did like a Road Warrior thing was one of the last steps. So bomb,
Dude, I gotta. Okay, I gotta.
man.
I'm probably gonna order it
Seal it
after.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ordering it after we are done recording. Okay, so we're moving forward. They're gonna go take care of this armored van. He convinced them to go, and I love how like down Casey is. You know, he's like, it's a mystery, an adventure,
Yeah, it's
and
just like kind of like a nerdery kind of thing. It's just like these dudes are like gonna go tinker in their van, something older people would do.
yeah,
And I like the like steps and like the vastness of the layer here that they show.
yes,
It's more than just couches in an old tube. It's like at this point in their careers, they like build it up to be something sweet.
yeah. I like too. At one point, like I think it's, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think it's like volume 2 where it's like connected, where Casey and April live. Like you can get to their lair from their basement or something. I
I
don't.
forget that.
Okay, maybe I'm
It's
wrong.
been a minute for volume 2 too for
Yeah,
me.
and because I think volume 2, like volume 3, the Urban Legends one, the one that Gary Carlson and Frank Fosco did, I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of extended from volume 2, and I know in that volume it was there, and I just recently read that one. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe I'm just remembering it wrong or thinking it's
No,
like
no.
that, but I love this too. Like Leo's like, "Where are you going?" And
Yeah,
and
he's
they're
just
like,
eat a sandwich.
"Yeah." He's like, "All right, well, at least I can watch Junkyard
Yeah,
Wars in peace."
I'll chill and watch TV. It's fine.
Yeah,
Empty house. I'm good. I'm good.
yeah. This dude again, the rendering too. Like I love.
Killing it.
Just so much detail, so much textures in here.
And the way Lawson achieves it with these like spirals and these little like curly cues, like especially panel 1 on the right side on the wall, panel
Yes.
2 behind him jumping down. Like it's something I've tried to do in my own drawings. I always do it on their chests now, but like just doesn't. It's not as precise as Jim for some
And
reason.
the different perspectives. Look how many different angles he gives us on one page.
Yeah. Yeah. These are
Fucking
seasoned creators at this point.
yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't. That's crazy to say because even issue 1 is like a class in creating because it's like so dynamic
Oh yeah.
and everything you want. Dude. Yeah. Next spread 2 hits hard because then they come in. This is dark. This is gritty. They're like, and they even call it out. They're like, how can I even see in here? How's it even light in here? And he's like, some service lights. That's kind of funny that they call it out because it's like, as an artist, they might even be thinking like, where's our light source?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and even as a reader, if somebody wants to get really nitpicky, you'd be like, "Oh, how can they even see down there?" Like there'll definitely be somebody nowadays online that'd be like, "There's no light down there. There
There's
can't
no
be. It's
light. They wouldn't
underground."
be.
Yeah. So like for Donnie, like multiple angles of light and where it was coming from,
Right.
and then like Casey talking about too, that it reminds them of a story back in the early '70s where like there's a bank heist because it's like, yeah, how did this fucking van
Right.
get underground?
Right. And then we continue on, and the more we learn about it, and they open up this driver's side door, and it's just boom, like almost jump scare. Though they don't even really play into like a jump scare, but like he's like, "Ah!" Panel 2 there, you see him really like emote, and there's just like a spider webbed up zombie there. But I mean, really like a
Creepy
half
as
decayed
fuck, dude.
corpse. Yeah.
This dude's like
Panel
the
4.
webs are going into the skull, like to where it's like attached to the steering wheel.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they got shot and they just barely like managed to get to like the safe zone or whatever, and then they just died right in the truck because of bullet wounds.
Yeah, dude. And then you flip, dude, and like can see. I mean, like this is not the next page, but they're looking at it. They're seeing how they can go about fixing it, and battery shot. There's they got to degunk all this stuff.
Yeah, but they're like, it's all there. Like this
Yeah.
thing is like intact from whenever it first landed here. And that
And look
panel
at-
too is such a layered turtle there. You know, that's like all the lairdisms you could need on a face right there.
then here too, all the money in the
Yeah, I
back,
mean,
like they were saying it's probably going to be gone, but the money's still there.
yeah, and that's, I mean, it's all like that places it in a time. Like if you look at this dude, he's got like that feather in his cap, he's got a peace sign, huge lapels, these killer shoes. He's like still got his finger on the trigger. You know, he got pumped full of lead and then died in the back, maybe even before they parked. You know,
The
crazy.
bullet fucking dents in the back.
And they're just like, dude, this is extremely wild. Get a little joke from Case there, like disco really is dead, you know. So it's like, all right, this is some dudes from the 70s. There was a bank heist. All right, let's get this done. And they like leave Raph there. He's like, great, leave me with the dead guy. Amazing. And then we flash back to Northampton where we haven't been this issue at all.
Yeah. This is where I think this is where it was towards the end of issue 1, right? Like where we saw Splinter and Shadow
That's right, yeah.
out of Northampton's. He's like telling her to be careful, like, oh, the even though you have studded tires, the trail's slippery, and she's like, come on, dude. Yeah, I get it. Like I know.
I get it.
I'm fine.
And I think there's like, you know, maybe in this read through there's some times where we should hit up Tales Volume 2, because I think some of these times, like I think why they're there is explained in Tales Volume 2. There's a lot of stories in and around this run that happen in Tales Volume 2.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
So we might want to look into that to see like where some of these fall.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, Shadow's like, I love him to death, but
I love him
leave him
dearly,
alone.
Yeah.
I'm a kid here who's trying to go see my lover.
So like you said, like the detail in the bikes and stuff.
Yeah, killing it.
Yeah. She's going to meet her boyfriend. She's obviously like going far enough away because she mentions it too here, right? Like that, as he wants to meet her grandfather, and
right,
she's like, no, I don't think he's ready. Like she's known him for 3 years, but they've only been dating 5 months,
and he's just trying to like take it to the next level. And she's like, okay, you know, backpedal a little bit. I got a giant rat for a grandfather. Let me just like let's ease into this thing.
Yeah,
bud. We're not even at second base yet, and you're trying to meet my giant rat. Not gonna do it. So they keep talking, and he just like jumps on the back, you know, and
they're going to the farmhouse. Yeah, they're gonna go to the farmhouse. Oh no!
I think they're just going for like, oh yeah, the old farmhouse.
The old farmhouse. Yeah, like because he said, like they mentioned that the cops got called, and she's like, "Don't worry, my dad took care of it." Yeah. And now we go back to the Utroms. So going back to the moon.
Space.
Yeah. And then you can see, I love the way they depict like this thing coming off the surface of the moon.
Right. Like it's dug down in there deep.
Right.
You know,
because it's not air, because there's no air on the moon, but it just looks like, I don't even know how to describe what that is, but it's not air.
Right. I was thinking it might be like they have like pistons or something, condensed air that like keeps it tight or something like that. And then it's expelling that air or whatever to. Yeah. But then this thing comes out. And we see this like canister almost looking thing.
Separation accomplished. Prepare for phase 2. So this is just phase 1. They built this thing in there. We don't know how long it's been there. Now it's taking off. Where's it going? And this is what I was talking about. See, like this is a reprint. This is going to 9.
Yeah.
So
that is a crazy issue with those. They're using some computer graphics to like make these little turtle cell, like what are they called,
like nanobots.
Nanobots.
Yeah, nanobots.
We do get a letter here. I'd like to send a shout out to Michelle Ivy, who's like one of the biggest Turtles fans out there. She's on Facebook, does a lot of really cool stuff, about to publish a book, I believe, so check her out. I think she says her turtle
TMNTfans.com.
I wonder if that's still a but she is still super active. I've met her at a few cons. She is like the #1 Turtles fan. It's not a website anymore, but yeah. So she's definitely a good follow on Facebook if you're interested in.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah,
I love these.
And Rosemary Reeve here too is another really big Turtles fan that I've met through the Turtles groups and stuff. So this one's got some peeps in the back here.
Yeah, look, and I mean everybody's putting their emails. I don't think people will be doing this nowadays.
I don't think they would either.
You know,
No.
I mean, dude, there was a time where people's addresses were in letter
Full
space.
addresses, yeah.
Like that's crazy to me. Even do you remember in Wizard magazine too, like that they would have it at the bottom, like pen pals.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like people can like I don't know, just nowadays, like that would not
No
fly.
one would. What is that called? Doxing now?
Yeah.
No one wants to dox themselves.
So yeah, like a bunch of awesome stuff here. I think they talk about being sold out. They printed 15,000 copies. That's it. Crazy. That's all they printed of number one. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can order it from Mirage. They give you the PO box if you want to get issue 1. Send $4 plus shipping and handling.
Yeah, I know. And then it says, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Planet Racers too. They're pushing a lot. That was like Jim Lawson and Peter Laird's big book at this time period. Another fun read. Yeah. And Paleo too. If I'm honest, man, following in the line of is it Steve Bissett's book?
Tyrant, yeah,
Tyrant, yeah, it's very similar to that. But
look, he's got a quote. It's a fantastic project, he says too.
Oh yeah, well, it is,
yeah. I haven't read either one of these, so I'll definitely. I mean, to be honest with you, I forgot about them, so I'm definitely gonna try to pick these up if I can. Maybe
I should look through some of my doubles because I might actually have 2 of the first trade of Planet Racers.
Oh, okay, cool, thank you.
You're gonna work on it, dude.
Yeah.
What else?
Look at these. You get a couple ads like for random, like Skull Factory.
Oh yeah, well, that's Eric Talbot's design company, and you can still get stuff through Skull Factory. I recently got this crazy sticker packet that was called the Skull Factory sticker pack. That was like 50 stickers of different skulls drawn by Eric Talbot.
Oh, it's dope.
Yeah, and this is Dan Berger's book. It looks like
nice. Yeah, Gut Wallow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
these ads aren't in the first print that I'm looking at. There's like a photo of these are the actual hands of Mike Dooney as he pretends to work on his color rough for the painting he will do for cover 3. Okay.
Well, that was another issue of TMNT Vol.4. Always fun going through it with you, dude. And yeah, we'll be back with issue 3. Make sure you follow Eli and I. Our links are down below. Hit the subscribe button, that bell icon, so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Shell yeah. Turtley.